one's eternal night. Heroes from across worlds stand and unite. No other foe or force can match their might. The once great people of this world now hide in fear. All chaos shaken by the power of sword and spear. The black-clad armies of the Dark One now draw near. But in the distance, the sergeant and the bear appear. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Legions of Romans stand and let their arrows fly. The roaring of dragons and machines fills the sky. Secret agents and the generals they defy. Swarms of orcs and samurai raise their banners high. In the wake of death, only one man stands alone. The sergeant raises his sword, high silver shown. He condemns the chaos worn on his soul. He stands longing for the day he may return home. Great heroes of past and gone, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Until the war for the wellsprings is won, they will fight until there are none. But Achilles will stand alone as one, and the bloodshed is finally done. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation, 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 to end the age of annihilation.
Welcome to ToV Live. It is Valhalla time, and it's time to read Scenario 9 from Renegade. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. If I can find the right button here. Hold on a second. There we are. Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you all. I'm Ryan, aka Tales of Valhalla. Hello there, Premiumscape. How are you doing tonight? Hope all is well with everybody who's catching the stream live tonight. Yes, we're going to be going through the scenario. It dropped. I thought for a second that the scenario wasn't going to drop until like next week, like beginning of next week or something. But they dropped it earlier than I thought, which is just fine. So I was thinking here I was going to read the scenario next Wednesday, but it looks like it's going to be this Wednesday, so that is fine. So we're going to get to this in a second. Volarak's arrival. So technically within the timeline now, Volarak has quote-unquote arrived. And got some interesting lore things to talk about with this, as well as this map, huge map for this scenario. Although I suppose put in parentheses because I caught this on the I caught this on the Renegade Heroscape Discord chat, where it's like, I think it was Iceman who was commenting like, "That's a big map," and I'm like, "Oh, a big map? I wouldn't know anything about like assembling very big maps at all, you know." So I'm just like, I was like looking at the map, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, it's okay. You know, so it's okay. I think it still needs like mountains and stuff, but you know, yeah, it's okay. But it's really interesting, the map origin. And actually sent Jeremy. Did I send Jeremy the message? I think I sent him a message asking him about. Pretty sure. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I meant to and I forgot. Hi, where is his? Yeah, I probably forgot because I don't see it there. So I guess I forgot to ask him. Oh well. You know, this is what happens when you're juggling so many things in life and then you forget to do a ton of things. Anyway, no big deal. I'll go through my thoughts when we get started with this. Anything else? I don't think so. So I guess we will get started. Since I already said hello to Premium Escape, we will get to reading this next. I call it Thorman's Journal, although technically it's sometimes written by Thorman, but sometimes written by others. But basically, Thorman's Record, Thorman's Journal, entry number 9. And how about we get started with reading this? So I'm going to do what I always do. Is actually there's a page here, and then we go through. And there's actually a page down here too. So and some cryptic notes. So I will start with just reading through all of it, and then give my thoughts on the second read through. So let's get started. Okay. Vision of Vorids. A jaunty chorus fills the drop bay. Gear is inspected, the last few bolts are tightened, and the ammunition is counted. A routine operation as far as the Vorids are concerned. 26 successful missions on Noxtorma, and at least 14 practice drills aced here on Valhalla. Volarak's trust is well placed in these intrepid, small-statured people. Tuck Harrigan slowly loads his officer's revolver. He vacantly surveys his forward company, eyes unfocused and absent. The team knows what they are doing. They're just as sharp as when he served with them back home. They carry the same bravado with them, as if they left nothing behind when they came to Valhalla. It's exactly the same as it used to be, back before the air shows and interviews, before Arabella's persistent schedule reminders and wake-up calls, a cup of hot bitterroot in hand, before the stories, the legends, and the rumors, before a simple wing commander became the Tuck Harrigan. Prepare to drop. The intercom cuts his reminiscence short. He's back to being that simple wing commander. No assistance, no admiration outside of this drop bay. Tuck Harrigan takes the last swig of his bitterroot, somehow just as lukewarm as when he poured it. His legacy must be rebuilt, and capturing the first wellspring ever discovered in Valhalla will be the cornerstone. The glide strikers are ready. He can see them all take drop positions. Professionals, just like him. The legend of Tuck Harrigan shall be known on 2 worlds, not just 1. Alright, and then skip over this and the second one. Here we go. Attention mainlanders. Volarak Enterprises has graciously accepted the gift of the Tarn of Volsunga to begin our intercontinental expansion. We are aware that circumstances on the mainland are difficult, and that the ravages of war and schemes of pirates have sullied the once great life you have all enjoyed. On behalf of Volarak Enterprises, we offer a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become citizens of the colony of New Hawkland, the region formerly known as Ostradvik. Citizens of New Hawkland will enjoy the prosperity and innovation that Volarak Enterprises brings on the table, including consistent work hours, steady pay, and housing, and a state-of-the-art modular occupational units. All are invited to rise above the pitiful inheritance and squalor offered by generational war of your leaders, and to step into abundance. In New Hawkland, you can regain the life you had, enhanced with the innovative technologies and commodities of our company creates to improve the lives of all. Don't settle for the crumbs of life left after the wars of the past have dined at your table. Take charge of your own future and feast with us in New Hawkland. Signed, Volarak of Hawkland, Chief Executive Officer of Volarak Enterprises. Stamp. And we have from the pen of Sonlen, so it is kind of Sonlen's journal this time. 27th of Dagmar. As my travels continue, I come across a peculiar package full of food rations, small medicinal doses, a blanket, and a container of something pungent called bitterroot. It appears to be one of many that have been distributed en masse across the surrounding regions with the attached message. I have now spotted at least 3 of these across the roads of Anund as I emerge from Merkheim, and their bright green canvas parachutes emblazoned with a black banner, or with a black hammer and tongs, make them a conspicuous sight amongst the more muted tones of natural foliage. I do not know who this Volarak is, nor under whose authority this enterprise was given the Tarn of Volsunga, with Uller's forces contending for Ostravik, and I would have to imagine Ziamara is unhappy with the establishment of this New Hawkland. I shall write for insights once the Major has been restored. What I do know is that it is rare for gifts from a stranger to come without cost. Perhaps I am growing to resemble my lord's paranoid state too much, but I do not trust Volarak's open invitation. At the very least, her arrival has come during a contentious time. With the poisonings, disarray, and suspicions, I fear that any first impressions made by the Valkyrie of the former alliance will not reflect their true virtues. It is time to wait and see what this Volarak of Hawkland will do in this unprecedented age. And then we have some Valhallan text below, which I have already translated. Ready? Here's what it says. O sweet child, beware of the fairy, or the fairy. Of their gifts be e'er wary. Offers all obscure accost. Boons distract as you are lost. Traditional Ashura nursery rhyme. So there you go. All right. Yes. Okay. And what's Premium Escape and Justin on saying? Oh, I just review these now when we're going through them. Do I know how to look up the World Tournament maps? Yes, I do. You mean on Renegade? Because there's different variations of tournament maps. But if it's through Renegade, well, it depends on when it comes to the Heroscape World Tournament and Gen Con. I don't know if they've released those yet or not. So I know they have some on the Renegade website, but I think right now, or at least it was like a day or two ago, Renegade website, I think it's needed some adjustment with those. So I can't show you anything right off the bat, but I know they're out there. I know they're out there on the Renegade website. They just might need some organization. So I'd say just be a little patient, though. I'm sure they'll get that in line soon enough. And Justin in the chat saying, new scenario, let's go. Yeah, so reading through this the first time, not interrupting, we have this first vision of the Vords, and this just gives me an impression of the Vords, especially Tuck Harrigan. The stature of these quote-unquote people, the Vord. They're very proud little tiny woodland creatures, and I think so proud that if you called them tiny woodland creatures to their face, they would probably get extremely mad and blow your head off. I'm just... That's the take I get from these guys. So let me read through this again. This time I'm just going to give my thoughts. It says, a jaunty course fills the drop bay. Gear is inspected and the last few bolts are tightened. So just kind of describing things. Routine operation as far as the Vords are concerned. 26 successful missions on Noxtorma and at least 14 practice drills aced here on Valhalla. So they've been practicing, and Volarak's trust is well placed in these intrepid, small-statured people. Oh, and by the way, guys, because we'll probably be looking at this, I do have the Valhalla map. If you wanted to know where Hawkland is, it's right there. And my cats are starting to fight. But yeah, Hawkland's there, so they're coming all the way through here and starting to claim this area, I think, because I know Anun was mentioned as New Hawkland. So that's an interesting thing. Yeah, it's right above Ekstrom. This is where Uller is technically. So yeah, this would be Uller's territory here in this area. So yeah, Volarak is deciding to take over there. It's interesting. Anyway, okay, let's read through this more. This Tuck Harrigan slowly loads his officer's revolver. He vacantly surveys his forward company, eyes unfocused and absent. His team knows what they are doing, just as sharp as when he served with them back home. They carry the same bravado with them as if they left nothing behind when they came to Valhalla. Justin says, finished 8th at the store championship. Congratulations this weekend, which means I'm getting the silver-based Awashia with foil card. Those foil cards look really sweet. The game store didn't get prizes in time, so they'll ship them out. Okay, cool. Well, congratulations to you, Justin. I mean, getting any type of ranking in championship is well played, well deserved. So good for you on that. Out of 14th, which I'm happy with. Okay, that's not bad. I know that when I go to Gen Con, I'm thinking of entering the championship, but you know, I gotta think about what I'd actually be using for a 500-point army. If that's what it's going to be. More than likely be something with bugs, but I'm almost half. I know it's a championship, but I'm almost half inspired to have fun and just like find a way to have just a nearly a whole like crustacean army, just so I can just destroy the entire battlefield, just make it as lava as possible. But since I wouldn't be using them until that time, I don't know if it's good to go in with an army that I would just have gotten that day or the day before. So yeah, I'm thinking about it. Maybe we'll go through what army builds and stuff like in the coming months and talk about it. But anyway, they carry the same bravado with them as they left nothing behind when they came to Valhalla. It's exactly the same as it used to be back before the air shows and interviews. So here we're talking about like so Tuck Harrigan, probably on Noxtorma, probably was like a celebrity of sorts, you know, like a military celebrity, but a celebrity nonetheless. Before Arabelle is persistent, schedule reminders and wake-up calls. Yeah, Arabelle. I wonder if we're going to get an Arabelle in the future. That's a character that we really don't know about. Sounds like either someone who plans Tuck's schedule or something, but it sounds like some type of secretary or something, or possibly a news media person. So, in cup of hot bitterroot. So bitterroot is a key. Before the stories, the legends, and the rumors. Yeah, before, and I like this, a simple wing commander became the ToV Harrigan. I'm surprised that the H and E are in caps. Prepare to drop. Now, this is one thing that actually kind of like kills me, because the drop is the Airborne Elites thing. I know it's not on the Glide Strikers Army card, but it's just, they put that on there, and I'm just like, ugh, it just kills me a little bit. The intercom cuts his reminiscence short. He's back to being that simple wing commander. No assistance, no admiration outside of the drop bay. ToV Harrigan takes the last swig of his bitterroot, and somehow just as lukewarm as when he poured it. So apparently they like their good brews. His legacy must be rebuilt. If a legacy is being rebuilt, then what caused it to crash down? Something to consider. In capturing the first wellspring ever discovered in Valhalla. And this is interesting. So we're going back to the wellspring origins. And so the first wellspring ever discovered, we're going back to the very beginning. That's the wellspring that Thormund discovered. So that is very interesting. The Glide Strikers are ready. You can see them take drop positions. Professionals just like him. The legend of ToV Harrigan shall be known in 2 worlds, not just one. This is very interesting. And then we go here. So we have, I can imagine like this is actually a little like 3x, like there's like a business card basically, to where it's just like this little card with stuff typed out. You know, very efficient. So this is an interesting take on a Valkyrie general. This is a Valkyrie general who's a chief executive officer of Volarak Enterprises, a very industrial Valkyrie. So that's interesting. So no one has any idea about Volarak, just sweeps in and is just like a Valkyrie general of industry, really. So, okay, attention, mainlanders. Call them the mainlanders. Volarak Enterprises has graciously accepted the gift of the Tarn of Volsunga to begin our intercontinental expansion. So my guess is that well, the Tarn of Volsunga is of course where that would be the wellspring, the area of the first wellspring there. So that must be on the map. It's got to be somewhere around here then. It's got to be somewhere in this location, I imagine. I didn't think to do any research on that beforehand. But let's see here. Okay, the beginner. Okay, we aware of the circumstances on the mainland are difficult. I like how they're trying to do it. They're trying to do a sales pitch to everybody who's fighting and dying this endless war on quote unquote mainland Valhalla. On behalf of Volarak Enterprises, we offer once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become citizens of the colony of New Hakaland, the region formerly known as Ostravik. Citizens of New Hakaland will enjoy the prosperity and innovation that Volarak Enterprises brings to the table, including consistent work hours, steady pay, and housing, and state-of-the-art modular occupational units. It's not just... Guys, it's not just a business pitch. It's also, or it's not just a sales pitch. It's also vote for me, you know, type of thing. Consistent work hours, steady pay, and housing, and state-of-the-art modular occupational units. I can imagine them being like hobbit holes or something. All are invited to rise above the pitiful inheritance of squalor offered by the generational war of your leaders, and step into abundance. In New Hakaland, you can regain the life you had, embraced with the innovative technologies and commodities our company creates to improve the lives of all. Don't settle for the crumbs of life left after the wars of the past have dined at your table. Take charge of your own future today. No, take charge of your own future and feast with us in a New Hakaland. Signed, Volarak of Hakaland, Chief Executive Officer of Volarak Enterprises. Stamp. got a stamp there. So yeah, that's interesting. And then we have Sonlen just taking this all in. From the pen of Sonlen, 27th of Dagmar. As my travels continue, I come across a peculiar package full of food rations, small medicinal doses, a blanket, and a container of something pungent called bitterroot. So they're dropping like what would you call them? Like care packages, you know, to everybody. It's basically, yeah, an invasion campaign. You know, we're coming with you, like it or not, and be our friend or not. It appears to be one of the many that have been distributed en masse across the surrounding regions with the attached message. I'd now spotted at least 3 of these across the roads of Anund as I emerged from Merkheim. And their bright green canvas parachutes, emblazoned with a black hammer and tongs, make them a conspicuous sight amongst the more muted tones of natural foliage. I do not know who this Volarak is, so that's interesting. So nobody really knows. At least Sonlen doesn't. No under whose authority this enterprise was given. The Tarn of Volsunga, with others' forces contending for Ostrovik. I would have to imagine Ziamara is unhappy with this establishment of this new Hakeland. I shall write for insights once the Major has been restored. So we're still in the process of rebuilding Major Q11. So that's an interesting point that we're at in this storyline. So the Q11 we have, yeah, dropping goodie bags right down. So in this timeline where we're at right now, Q11 has not been fully rebuilt yet. So apparently that's coming, or at least during the time when this note was written. What I do know is that it is rare for gifts from a stranger to come without cost. Yeah, Sonlen, you just don't trust anybody, which is, I mean, it's fine, you know. Even if it was goodwill, and it seems very goodwillish, yeah. Perhaps I am growing to resemble my lord's paranoid state too much, but I do not trust Volarak's open invitation. At the very least, her arrival has come during a contentious time. With the poisonings, disarray, and suspicions, I fear that any first impressions made by the Valkyrie of the former alliance will not reflect on their true virtues. It is time to wait and see what this Volarak of Hakeland will do on this unprecedented age. And then, of course, this note below, Valhallan text, which says, "O sweet child, beware the Faerie. Of their gifts be e'er wary. Offers all obscure a cost, boons distract as you are lost." A traditional Ashra nursery rhyme. So it basically says, yeah, be careful what gifts you receive, basically. So, yeah, now I do want to state one thing. Like, actually, okay, this is like one of my negative opinions on these whole matters. I mean, it's great to read these, and it's great to see how the story continues to develop. But for me personally, and I think some people share this view too, I've seen some comments, but I can't stand the fact that I can't read everything at once. That's just me. I like my books. You know, I like reading through everything and just knowing the whole story. And this, while I understand why they're doing this, and I mean I agree with it, but at the same time, there's a part of me that just give me the whole book so I can read through everything. You know, I don't like, okay, wait and see till next time. You know. That's just, I guess it's the impatient person in me, but that's kind of a negative just evaluation that I probably have. And I just wanted to say that, and I'm going to move on. Now, okay, let's see here. Dan says, Volarak glamping. Hey, Dan, hope that package got to you in the mail. Okay, and everything looks good for you. Yeah, Premium Escape. If it is too good to be true, it just might be. Yep. Exactly. So we have Volarak entering the fray, and they are, again, I'm going to go back to this map. So in this area is where, and Hakeland's right here, again, Falkland's this huge island off to the east. Lots of ocean, lots of sea separating. And so we knew nothing about this place until now. So it's kind of cool now we're finally getting some story from this and what Valkyrie are actually here. And I think I heard rumors that we're going to be getting a new map, which is cool. I'm looking forward to that. But right now I'm just going off this original map. And so from here to here, scattering stuff. And apparently here is also the origin, in this area is also the origin of the first wellspring discovered. Ostrovik, yeah, Ostrovik's right here. So yeah, in this area, which is kind of interesting. So that is your location for all of that. Anything else I can think of? I think majority of mainlanders are going to. Oh, that's great, Dan. Okay, cool. I'm glad everything got there to you. I hope you enjoy them. Have a lot of fun building your armies with them. But I think majority of people in mainland Valhalla is like Premiumscape. I know. I really want a map too. Mainlanders, I don't think are going to be as accepting to Volarak's plans, so we might see like a change in attitude with Volarak in the future as soon as she encounters a lot of resistance to the promise of industry to everybody. They tend to not want that. I wonder how that will go with the pirates too. Pirates, you got carefree living, and then just following orders from messages in bottles to actually orderly industrial. It's an interesting take on a different type of faction, and one that we've never really had in Valhalla. I think the closest we've gotten to is maybe something of like Einar or Vidar, but they weren't anything like this. So, I mean, Einar was a bit more organized, but not industrial, and Vidar, had their machines and stuff, but it was a different thing. This is more like let's get profits, let's just change the landscape. It's very interesting. Although, changing the landscape with guns, and tiny woodland creatures where if you call that to them in their face, they'll rip your head off. Yeah, take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, so that is taking a look at from the pen of Sonlen and additional notes, Sonlen's journal number 9, and the observations and reading of that. Okay. Now, before I go to these, look at that map. Let me just look at the chat real quick. Okay, Premiumscape. You really want, okay, I already said I really want a map. That's great. Okay, that's great. Okay, so I'm caught up with that. All right. So I guess, I'm trying to make sure that I'm kind of through pretty fast tonight, because it's just going to be a long weekend. So, and I'll talk a little bit about that when we're about to sign off. But I do appreciate everybody who have been jumping on a little bit. I do want to read Justin's army, because he didn't have that here. Okay. Army was 4 Phantom Knights. Good thinking. Konkan the Kairi Warrior, Ordo Borealis, and Guilty McCreech. Yeah, Phantom Knights are good. They definitely create a good fundamental build with your army. Justin says, love the design of Air Marshal Zed Nesbitt. That airship is awesome. Yes. Yeah, to save some money, I actually put Zed Nesbitt and a couple other stuff that I'm getting, not too much, because currently I don't have too much cash, but I'm going to pick that stuff at Gen Con to save me shipping too, so I won't get that stuff until I go to Gen Con in a few months. But yeah, that seems like a nice army build. Let's see here. 5 50-minute rounds using 500-point armies with Renegade points. Went 2 to 3. One of my losses went to time, and he destroyed 4 more points. Yeah, that happens. If I would have had 10 more minutes, I would have pulled out a win. Okay. Yeah, that'll time format Renegade's maps. Yep. I know when it comes to, and at Gen Con for the championship, I think it's just pure, like, you just use Renegade's Heroscape stuff for the championship rounds, and that's it. No extra stuff. I believe that's how the rule applies. At least that's what we first read before they took down the schedule, and they'll put it up again sometime. So I'm just thinking to myself, okay, how do I get this to a 500-part army that's like kind of cohesive? So I'm still trying to figure that out. Dan says, I feel like the other generals other than Utgar, maybe Jandar, have been fighting for their life, and now this guy wants them to join his side for money, industry, you know. I don't think they would. I think it's a lost sales tactic. Maybe in other places, but definitely not Valhalla. So looking forward to see what Volarak summons next. Yes, Justin, absolutely. Yeah, it's great to get these guys coming in, you know. Oh, hold on a second, since I haven't read anything. I have someone messaging me something, so this is what happens sometimes when I'm streaming. So yeah, so Gen Con, yeah, we're looking at like a 500-point army of just Renegade stuff, Renegade points for the championship rounds. And so I know it's slightly limited, but we're going to have our commons, or you should be able to have commons during that time. So I okay. Then I don't know. Okay. So your Battle Orc has 2 formats: Contemporary, which is only Renegade units. Yep, it's Contemporary, and all time with classic D&D and Renegade figures. Exactly. So yeah, it's the Contemporary Renegade. That's what's going to be the format for your army builds for the championship. At least that's what it was. That might change, but that's what I saw when they first put it up. So, yep, that hence the challenge. All right. So let us read through the, what I call this, the scenario part of this, and of this online scenario 9, Volarak's arrival. We'll first look at the map. Like I said, it's a pretty, I want to say it's a big map. It's a wide map. It's a very wide map. But this is also representative of the first wellspring. I see they got some nice little ruins there just scattered around. You have, some of the trees, so that's interesting. Required sets: Age of Annihilation Master Set, Lands of Valhalla, Waters of Valhalla, Snowfields of Valhalla. How many levels is this? Okay, it's just 4. Okay. See here, and let's read the lore part. Ostrovik has become a pivotal region in the war, bordering the realms of Uller, Vidar, and Utgar. The unplanned withdrawal of Jandar's occupation leaves valuable resources in strategic positions for the taking. Okay, so Jandar... Okay, let's go back to the map here. Okay, so Ostrovik is right here. So that used to be a territory that Jandar then actually occupied a little bit, but retreated from. That's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. So... as the 3 generals battle for the region, their campaigns collide at the Tarn of Volsunga, home to the first wellspring ever discovered, the one disowned by the great chronicler Thorman himself. So we get some mention of Thorman here. At least he's not being totally ignored. That's good. As the mainlanders contend with Ostrovik, the Tanuki tricksters gather information about the resources available and relay their findings to General Volarak. Their reports are clear. Whoever claims this wellspring will secure control of the region. The time to strike is now. Interesting. So there's your map. Like I said, it's a pretty big map. I mean, I've built bigger for Tales of Hell, but yeah, pretty big map. That's like how many hexes across? 1, 2, 3. Wait, I'll count right here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, about like 24, 25, back and like up and down probably. So yeah, 25 wide, probably about 25 long too. That's pretty hefty. But it's interesting. So now we get a interesting take on the region and what everybody's fighting for. So somewhere within Ostrovik is the wellspring that Thormund first discovered. So that is interesting. And we got the map here. Good. It's an interesting looking map. Here, we'll probably got the wellspring in the center there. And let us read through the scenario. So online scenario 9, Volarak's arrival, and let's read through this lore bit amidst the cacophony of steel. That's a word I need to look up. Gunshots and explosions. The Tarn of Volsunga is drowning in combat. As the warring generals' forces crash into one another, only a few keen-eyed warriors notice the incoming war blimps of an unforeseen addition to the fray. Unprepared for such a development, all prior strategies are hastily abandoned as unidentified soldiers deploy rapidly upon the battleground. Excuse me. The commanders realize that this unknown's army arrival changes everything. Dang the long-term strategies. I'm not going to even do that little curse. All that matters now is controlling the wellspring itself. So it's interesting. So they're fighting amongst each other, and then Volarak dives in, and they're just like, who is that? We don't know these people. It's like, okay, let's start attacking them. What you don't, actually, it's like the enemy that you know is better than the enemy that you don't know. It is true. Goal: secure the Tarn of Volsunga or be the last army standing. So you can have up to 4 players, so that's interesting. So you got more interactive there than just, one-on-one. This can be 2, 3, up to 2, 3, or 4 players, so that's cool. Set up, place the glyph of Brandar, power side up where shown. Boom, at the center. Then after building their armies, the players take turns placing 1 army card's worth of figures at a time onto the map, placing them on the edge of the map as indicated by the green starting zone. Okay. Figures may not be placed adjacent to enemy figures. Each squad figures must be placed so that each figure from that card is adjacent to at least 1 other figure from that card. 2 players drafts or brings 600-point army, 3 players 500-point army, 4 players 400-point army. Scouting parties. As the armies converge on the location of the Tarn, forward scouts take advanced positions. When placing figures, each player may keep 1 squad army card of small or medium figures in reserve to place after all the figures have been placed in starting zones normally. Okay, when placing the scouting parties, start each player who placed their figures first during setup. Each player may place their scouts on any non-water, non-ice spaces. Scouts must be placed adjacent to another member of their squad and cannot be placed on glyphs or adjacent to enemy figures. Figures with the glider landing or the drop special powers may be placed this way instead of through their usual placement rules. That's kind of cool. So you can actually add the airborne elite in this and have them be actually viable in this. A victory. When any player scores 8 objective points, they secure control of the wellspring and win the game. Alternatively, if at any point only 1 player has figures on the battlefield, that player wins. At the end of round 6, the player with the most objective points wins. Okay, we can go up to round 8. In case of a tie, the player with the most points on the battlefield wins. Okay, special rules. Fortifying wellspring water. The Tarn of Volsunga, though unused for decades, still possesses incredible power. Figures occupying a wellspring water tile roll 2 additional dice when defending. Interesting. as the water's visions of victory inspire those within to hold their ground. Oh, okay, 2 additional dice. So even if you were a level below, you'd still have a little bit of advantage with 2 additional defending dice. That's nice. Fount of Power. Glyph of Brandar symbolizes the fount of power, the very center of the wellspring where its power is at its strongest. Figures occupying the Glyph of Brandar, Fount of Power, roll 1 additional die on attack and defense. A double space figure occupying both Wellspring Water and the Fount of Power only applies the Fount of Power special rules. Okay, so not double. Okay, so they made that clear. Beware, the power comes with a cost, and the surging energy of the fount consumes and withers those who stand amidst it. At the start of each round, a figure occupying the Glyph of Brandar suffers 1 wound. Interesting. So you want to try and get them off before the end of a round. At the end of a round, each player scoring. Okay, at the end of each round, each player scores 1 objective point for each figure they control that occupies a Wellspring Water space. A figure occupying the Glyph of Brandar scores 2 points instead. So there's that back and forth, that give and take of, at the end of the round, you can get your victory points, but you have to take also a wound cost as well if you're not able to move your minis. That's interesting. So that gives that balance and trying to make sure your objective is going to work. That's okay. Objective points track. Okay, so this is the point tracker. Okay, and this is the round tracker. Okay, so up to 6 rounds. Okay, and now you have up to 8 points. Okay, that's interesting. Well, this is a fun scenario, where 2 or more can play. So it's good that they still we're looking for variety. All these scenarios provide a lot of variety, and this one, you have up to 4 people playing it, so you can have groups of people just having fun with it. Different armies. Sounds like a fun game night, really. Perfectly honest. So no complaints there. Love the little bit of lore we have about what Ostrovik means to everybody and how, like I said, Volarak's arrival. That's a very it's a very cinematic thing, I guess I would say. Cinematic thing. So yeah, no real complaints when it comes to that. So that is taking a look at map 1, the Tarn of Asanga, and online scenario 9, Volarak's arrival. Another fun scenario to tack on to your gaming experience. All right, now let me catch up with the chat before I decide to sign off. Let's see here. Where were we? Justin says battle artwork has 2 formats. Okay, yeah, we got that. Justin says I'm attending 2 different gaming stores. The Minnesota store has the majority of players with previous collections, so they've been hosting all-time events. Okay. Justin also says the Wisconsin store has only a couple of players with previous collections, and the other half dozen just finding the game with Renegade releases, so they've been doing contemporary tournaments. Okay. I'm sure it's good to get a mixture of experience and that type of thing. And Justin says there's pros and cons for both formats, and I enjoy playing in both. Yeah, it's like I have really no negative, about either side. It's just if you're limited in one another, it presents just different challenges, and it's like I prefer to be challenged personally. Currently ranked 318 in the Battle Network, which I'll take. Yeah, the Battle Network. I don't even have a ranking, so it's like I'm just 0 because I don't have much time to do the championship stuff. Premium Escape said, Justin, where did you find all the Renegade maps? Okay, Premium Escape still looking for the Renegade maps. Well, I'll tell you about Premium Escape here. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can go on. Let me see if I can find it real quick here. Let me just here. I'm gonna bring a window over here. so y'all can see what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but I will give it a try. Matter of fact, it might be in, let's see here, Rent a Center. No, I don't see it. But here, let me just go here real quick. Let me see if I can go to Organize Play and find it. I thought I saw it in here. Floor rules. I know I saw it somewhere. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we are. Map pool. There you go. All right. So this is what I saw Premiumscape. Okay. When you go to renegade.com Heroscape, go to Heroscape Organize Play. You tap Organize Play Resources, and then you scroll down. You see the map pool, and there's your map pool. So we got some. It's kind of cool, actually. Let me just go through this real quick. So, got some familiar faces here. Ulysses Flash 19. Got some Renegade Game Studios maps here. Yeah, Vidar, Super Frog, Shurig. Yeah, so we have some maps here. Washia's Ascent. Here, I'm just going to hit on a map just to see what it does. Okay, yeah, and it gives you the download and the map build, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, you're welcome, Premiumscape. Yeah, so this is what they have so far. I'm glad they're so interactive in this. So that is. I'm sorry I don't have a link for you, but yeah, just go to Heroscape Organize Play. There, I think it's under Play, Organize Play. And then you go here and Organize Play Resources, and it takes you right to this. And you also have floor rules, all-time FAQ, promos, code of conduct, and rulebook. So yeah, got everything there, so that's cool. All right. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to shut down for the night. And kind of a short stream, but I read all I needed to read and observe for this tonight, and I do have to prepare for this weekend. And just so you know, this Sunday I will not be streaming. No stream this Sunday. Going to be out and about this weekend because there is a certain wedding of a certain Joe Crazy that's happening, which a certain someone may or may not be attending. So yeah. So what we'll do is next Wednesday, I will be, how would I put it? Next Wednesday we'll be streaming again, and I'm not sure what I'm exactly doing next Wednesday. It's probably going to be a short, well, not a short and sweet stream, but I'll probably do maybe some type of editing or painting something. That's going to be one of the common things that I do that I need some downtime for. So with that, let's see here, Justin says, big thing with the maps is the only tiles used are with terrain that is currently available, so no roads. That hurts. I wanted to bring Roman Legionnaires, but decided against it due to that move of 4. Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you so much, Premiumscape. Yeah, I know it should be a fun time. Joe is a good friend, and very, very honored to be able to go. And it's my first time actually going to New Jersey. And yes, Justin, we were talking about on the stream last Sunday on the backstage, we were talking about the pumping of the gas. I know of that because I did visit Oregon a long time ago, and I was accidentally pumping my own gas, and they had an attendant come out there. No, don't do that. I'm like, what? So yeah, I kind of know about that, so it's good to know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the chatting tonight, and take care. We'll see you next Wednesday. And yeah, a lot of work to do, and yeah, we'll have more stuff to talk about next week. So with that, take care all. You have a purpose in your life, find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see all of you next time. Later now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.